there is no bad thing, there is no worst feeling when you sabotaging yourself, and but you really can't do it. You realize when you've already done it, there's nothing so bad like that. Oh, there's nothing bad as realizing later in life that all along you have been charging yourself. Is that English even correct? Yeah. So I personally was doing that, highly doing that for quite a period of time. So by the time I'm sitting down, I'm trying to find myself, I'm trying to meditate on so many things. That's when I realized, wait a minute, I have been doing this to myself. And I know I'm not alone. There are so many people who sabotage themselves, maybe at work, at home, with friends, and all that. It just comes out almost naturally. Like you get to a space where you've even accepted it, so you you sabotage yourself to an extent you can't even realize yourself, which is so sad. It's so sad because sometimes when you meditate, you realize there are places you would have done better, there are places you would have scored something, there are friendships, friendships you would have kept, there are jobs you would have kept, only if you didn't sabotage yourself. When on that journey of just meditating and doing all that, I came across a very wonderful book that's called The Mountain Is You. It's by Brianna. Yes, and she talks about ways we serve ourselves. She talks about how you can even overcome it. And I read it and I thought of sharing with you. So I took the notes, and I'm here today sharing with you in case you have never read the book, or even or I'm just going to shed some light about it so that at least you can get yourself a copy. Yeah? Let's do it. So of late, guys, I've really been reading a lot. However, I have discovered I am not an online reader. Like I cannot. I am the kind of people who, for weird reason, love the smell of the books, and I just having my books around. That way, I'll read them page to page. But online, I always find myself tempted to just flip the pages and all, and just read through and all. But yeah, that's just something I discovered. Anyway, I've been reading a lot, and to a point, I even was thinking of coming up with a reading club for girls who really love and enjoy reading. Anyway, that's something I'm still thinking. Maybe we'll do it sometime, yeah. But anyway, let me just talk to you about the book. So the book is called. I took some notes in my book here, which I felt were my take home, and I will wish to just share with you. One, she talks about you holding yourself back. Yeah, she talks about if there is an ongoing gap between where you are and where you want to be, and your effort to close it and consistency met with your own resistance, pain, discomfort. Let me read again. If there is an ongoing gap between where you and where you want to be, and your effort to close it are consistently met with your own resistance, pain, and discomfort. Let's be honest. Even with routines, guys, it's so hard to achieve a certain routine unless you're consistent. So she's talking about the only thing that's making you not be where you have to be is consistently. Sometimes you don't want to go through the pain so that you pursue something. Sometimes you don't want to go through discomfort. You want to experience things softly. You want things to come to you softly. You don't want to go through the process so that you achieve a certain thing. You want soft life. You want anything just coming to you easily. Remember, anything coming to you easily is never long lasting. Never ever. Never. You have to go through all that pain, that hardship, so that it pushes you to being the best version of you. That's something that I came to know. So go through that tension until you get to where you want to be. She continues and says, sometimes we sabotage our healing journey by psychoanalyzing our feelings, because doing so involves we avoid actually experiencing them. How many of you have ever done that? Me, I've done that. Yeah, you do want you honestly know there is something that really broke you, but you really don't want to feel or go through that healing journey. Anytime you think about it, you always push that thought away instead of thinking about it, how it made you feel, what you contributed in that particular thing, and how you're going to move forward. Because again, if something broke you, it means anything triggering it always affects you anytime, anyway. So she says that we always sabotage our healing journey by psychoanalyzing our feelings because we don't want to, we are avoiding experiencing them, and that is always prolonged. Anything prolonged, when it can be done at that particular point, always ends up very badly. For example, if you have a routine and you need to do something, but then you keep on postponing, what always happens? You always end up not doing that particular thing, and it always turns out to be chaotic at some point, right? So, stop. If you have something that you're going through, if there is something that you really need to process, you have to stop sabotaging yourself. Just think about it, resolve it. How can you make it better? Because you have to push it aside so that things you make room for other things. Yeah. She continues by saying self-sabotage is a maladaptive coping mechanism, a way we give ourselves what we need without having to actually address what the need is. Oh my god, this book is very interesting. Yeah, self-sabotaging is a maladaptive mechanism, coping, a way we give ourselves what we need without having to actually address what the need is. Yes, have you ever gotten yourself buying something that you honestly don't need? You actually don't need. You just bought it because it looks pretty or it's good. But what is the need of that particular thing that you bought? Sometimes we are going through things, and instead of facing them, we take something else to just cover it up so that we continue moving. And these are people cope differently. There are people going to alcohol, there are people who just go into journaling, there are people who go into gym. People have different mechanisms, but she is talking about stopping to do all those coping mechanisms, because by the time you're doing that, you adapt that thing to a point that whatever you're supposed to do right, you don't, because again you created a coping mechanism which is pushing away from actually facing what the need is. Yeah, and she goes deeper and says the act of self-love is to no longer accept a life that you are unhappy with. Yeah, it is to be able to state the problem, planning and in a straightforward manner. Yeah, that is now self-love. Anything that's bothering you, anything that's just hindering you from moving forward, you have to have a strategic plan or manner where you just solve it to make sure you're always happy and at peace. Yeah. So she gives steps on what you can do, which is write down what you aren't happy with. Yeah. By the mention of it, I know you've thought of so many things, but I did that exercise and it was so fulfilling, just writing down what I don't love, what makes me unhappy. After doing that, look at it, go through it, then find a solution to it. So the book continues and talks about rock bottom is the beginning of healing. Yeah, just say to yourself, I never want to feel this way again, and declare. Even the Bible talks about declaring. If you declare anything in the name of God, it's going to come, you're going to be answered. So declare, I honestly don't want to feel like this again. I don't want to go through this again. Yeah? And then also, rock bottom is where our habits begin to compound upon one another, and when the coping mechanisms are out of control. This is where anybody gets themselves when everything just collapses. Have you ever gotten yourself where everything is not working? You're at your rock bottom, nothing is working. just you who's there. Yeah, this she says that this happens when now our coping mechanisms are not working. Remember, anything that's done for a little period of time and that's done faster never works. So when your coping mechanism no longer happens, no longer is working, that's when you get yourself to the rock bottom. When your coping mechanism will work, or now you don't have money, depending on they're no longer. Once those friends are no longer there, now you're rock bottom, you are at your rock bottom because you are now used to depending on somebody or something that's not already, that has just gone. So she again talks about healthy emotional processing procedure, which I'm not going to dive in because it's too big. Yeah. So here are signs of self-sabotage according to Brianna. She said you're self-sabotaging if you are more aware of what you don't want than what you want. Have you ever been in a state where you know what you don't want, but you don't know what you want? You're self-sabotaging yourself. Also, spending more time impressing people who don't like you than people who do. I've seen people doing this. You're impressing the people who will not even care for you when you're at your rock bottom. But the people who deeply care for you, you just throw them. Again, you're sabotaging yourself if you're putting your hand in the sand. You are putting your head in the sand. Don't know the basic fact about life. So let me read it again. You are putting your head in the sand and you don't know the basic facts about life. That's straightforward. You care more about convincing other people you are okay. Self-sabotaging. If you're not okay, you just have to say it and you have to show people I'm not okay. Main priority is to be liked. You are more afraid of your feelings. You don't even want to face them. Then it means you're self-sabotaging yourself. You are blindly chasing goals without asking yourself, why am I chasing them? Why? Treating coping mechanism as the problem. Yes, that one especially. You're treating your coping mechanism as a problem. Trying to care about everything. Waiting for someone else to open a door, where else you can open it yourself. Oh my God, Brianna. You don't realize how far you have come. How come? How you sabotage yourself. You don't even realize that, wait a minute, I've been doing this to myself. You don't even pay attention. Anything that's mentioned about that, you escape because you really don't want to face the real problem, yeah? Attracting people who are too broken to commit in a real way. Oh my God. Feeling unhappy even if nothing is wrong. You're just unhappy. You don't know even why you're unhappy, but you're just unhappy. You always push people away. Automatically believing what you think and feel is true, and you cannot be convinced at this. Eating poorly when you don't want to. Not doing the work you know would help you move your career forward. Overworking. Caring too much what people think. Spending too much money and you don't have that amount. Dwelling in the past. Choosing friends who always make you feel like you are in competition with. Having self-defeating thoughts. Worrying that things are about you when they aren't. Like nothing, somebody did something and you feel they did it because of you. Mindlessly scrolling through social media to pass time. Staying where you don't want. Like those are the things that she stated. And when you go through them, you realize maybe you fall into that category. Personally, I was. And by the time I was reading this book, I feel it was something that I needed so that my mind could be open. And right now, my main goal is focusing on loving myself more, knowing what I really want. If I don't want something, I'll just clearly say I don't. If I want to do something wholeheartedly, I'll do it well. yeah, that's just it about Brianna Wiest. The mountain is you, and I'd really encourage anybody who's going through this to just go grab a copy and read it. And if you can't, you can read it online. It's free. Just download the PDF and read page to page and read to understand. That's what I'm trying to say. Read to understand. Don't read to just pass the book. Yeah. Well, I hope I've helped somebody who's going through this. And as usual, I always discuss something that's affecting me, one way or the other. So I think I'll see you in the next one. Bye.